Hey, what's up, FLOSSTUBE? It's Lee from Creative Lee coming to you on this lovely sunny day, Sunday 5th of March, with FLOSSTUBE number 20, which is crazy. Apologies in advance if you can hear the sounds of lawnmowers and or concrete mixers and or other weekend sort of activities, but yeah, neighbours are out doing weekendy things, but I've got the doors open because it's such a lovely day. Just actually sat out on the front porch while my elderly neighbours popped over with their chairs, and they sat at least 2 metres away, and we had a cup of coffee and a chat kind of thing, so it was nice of them to come over to see how I'm doing. But yeah, things are still kind of quiet, funnily enough, and been doing a bit of stitching. It's still quite warm out, and I've been out in the sun, so I'm looking a bit pink and a bit glowy, but never mind. And my hair looks a complete shambles, but I don't care because I'm working from home, and it will be what will be, right? We're all going to look a bit feral by the time this isolation lockdown thingy is done. So yeah, we're still on lockdown until further notice. Going for little walks around the neighbourhood, literally watching the grass grow. Dude around the corner put down grass seed just before we went into lockdown, so a couple of weeks ago. And as I go for my little daily walk around, I am watching the progress of his grass growing. It's the most exciting thing that is happening in my neighbourhood, is the neighbour's grass growing. So a couple of days ago, 3 days ago I think, finally he had some little tiny green shoots. That was pretty freaking exciting. One day I'll be able to watch my grass grow. I had got a quote to get my grass done, and then we ended up shutting down as a country, so who knows when that will happen. Yeah, so that's what we've been doing, going for walks, working from home. Still working stupid hours, although this week I've decided, this week coming, I'm not going to work stupid hours. I am going to work normal hours, and that's what I'm going to do. That being said, short week this week, so Easter on Friday, so we've got Easter Friday and Monday off, so yeah, what does that mean? Less work, more time to stitch, I guess, because what else am I going to do? Enjoying catching up with friends though, who it's been great opportunities the last few weeks to catch up with people that you don't talk to a lot via the various video channels and phone calls, so it's quite cool. Otherwise, everyone in my family is doing okay. I don't know, I think, I don't really want to talk about virusy stuff, but I think our number's up around 1,000 confirmed cases in New Zealand. So far, touch wood, we've only had one person who has passed away who had the virus. I won't say from, because keep in mind, everyone who dies, and they die when they have caught COVID-19, doesn't mean they actually died of it, because that's more complicated. But yeah, so distracted by the people walking past having a loud conversation. There they go. Everyone's out for little walks. Yeah, so one person who had COVID-19 has passed away. Hopefully our numbers stay low, because yeah, it's just a scary time, especially when you can't be with people when they're ill, and you can't necessarily attend a funeral or have a memorial service, so even your grieving is affected by this problem. Anyway, that's enough of that malarkey. Made bread yesterday. Made a couple loaves of bread. I do have some flour. There was none at the supermarket. I probably got about a kg, maybe 1.5 kgs of flour left, so that's probably well, that's basically 3 loaves of bread. So hopefully I can get flour when I go to the supermarket in a couple of weeks. Otherwise, because I make bread, so you know, and there was none to buy. So anyway, it'll be fine. And I've got no mail. I've had no mail. I've got no haul. I still don't know when I might get my fabric from Country Stitch. I'm down to 1 needle. I'm down to 1 size 28 needle because I stitch a lot and my needles, yeah, your needles tarnish over time. So I'm down to 1 needle. That's a bit scary. I am going to put a small order through to 123 Stitch this afternoon to get some DMC, because we can't get any DMC in New Zealand. So some DMC for a couple of little projects. I'll get some needles. There's no fabric. Like any other fabric I would buy, if someone made a comment, at least we can order from 123 Stitch. It's like, but there's no fabric. All the fabric that I would buy is all out of stock. So there's nothing. Can't get it. But anyway, that's fine. I might get some. Yeah, I'll just get some needles and some DMC for a couple of projects that I could do on. Yeah, I do have some fabric, but it's 28 count, and I mostly don't stitch on 28 count. I've either been given it or I've had it left over from projects in the past, or like last night I sat and I frogged. Had some fabric that a friend gave me. Hey Tracy. And I've got some 14 count Aida and some 28 count even weave, and there were some projects that she had started and given up on and just decided she didn't need the fabric, so I took it thinking, well, I could probably use it for something, or I could give it away to someone or what have you. But so I sat there last night and made my fingers sore by frogging out all the stuff, all of the starts. So I'm thinking that I might, just to keep my sanity somewhat intact, do a series of the free charts that are out there for the kind of be well, stay home, we can get through this kind of thing. And thinking about maybe doing a little something from, let's say, a dozen or so of these free charts, and I could just use all the various 28 count and 14 count fabrics that I have. Like maybe I'll make a little book, or yeah. Anyway, I might just go and grab something to show you what I mean, except this is on a grander scale, and this can be my previous finish. Anyway, so it needs a bit of a wash, but way back when my sister was pregnant with my eldest nephew, so her first child, I was unemployed. I haven't finished university, and I decided to stitch a gift or a book. So I stitched a teddy bear counting book, and then a few years ago, before she moved to Australia, she was having a garage sale, and she was preparing stuff for the garage sale, and she put the bloody thing in the garage sale, and it nearly killed her. I'd also stitched this beautiful Afghan, but less worried about the Afghan, and I said, no, you can't get rid of that. So I took it from her and I said, I will give it back to whichever of your children has, whichever of your when you have your first grandchild. And so I need to wash it, and I had a nameplate on the back of it that she unpicked, but I'm going to redo it. Anyway, I should show it. So this is the sort of thing that I'm thinking about doing, but on a smaller scale, so a smaller size, a little book of the different charts just to keep. So this is the book that I stitched, and it's on 14 count Aida, and I stitched a full skein, so 6 strands over 2, so essentially it came down to 7 count. And I mean, it's a bit grubby, it needs a good wash, and then I stitched the pages together, like I just sewed them, and then basically made these made a made a book and stitched some binding stuff on it. I don't really know, can't remember what I did. And then rip-rack around all the pages. So, teddy bear counting book. And it was in a book that had a whole range of different teddy bear projects. And I stitched this for them. And I still have some of this Ada left because that's what you end up with. And I don't do pastel, but I love how it came out. And she used this for her 3 kids, and then she went to bloody sell it. So anyway, I said, no, I'm taking that back because you're not selling this book. This took me, I was on the dole, I had no money, and it was cost me a fortune. It took me a long time to stitch and a heck of a lot of thread because, you know, using full skeins. And also, it's an heirloom. So on the back, which again is really grubby, I need to give it a wash. I had like a thing stitched here for Stephen, my eldest nephew. So what I'm going to do is restitch little names, and I'm going to stitch all 3 of the kids' names and with their dates of birth, and I'm just going to re-sew them onto the top. And then my idea would be is, you know, if and when they breed and have offspring, I'll do the same. I'll add their names, and the idea being that I expect this to be passed around, you know, like it doesn't belong to my eldest nephew, it belongs to the family, and they can pass it around, and as long as I'm alive and able to stitch, I'll stitch the names, and you know, it's not that hard to put on the back, and I'll just stitch them on the back. So yeah, that is one of my previous, actually FFOs, right, because it's the teddy bear counting book. So yeah, and they used it. So I rescued it from my sister selling it and put it in my trunk, and that's where it stays until, but anyway, so it's more about the construction that I want to do for maybe for this COVID-19 stuff, is I'll use up some of this 14 count, 28 count to stitch some of those freebies and make a little book that I can just have tucked away as a little bit of a memento of this weird time. But I'll probably need to get some thread and stuff because I'm a bit low in some colours. Also use some of my Victorian motto. Yeah, that's my plan anyway, because I have the 14 count. Also, with 14 count and 28 count, I can use a bigger needle. So I do have I think a 26 and a couple of 24s. I don't often use the 24, but I can probably make it work. That's my plan. So I'm going to have a look through some of those charts this afternoon and make a decision about which ones I might do, and then, you know, do the whole palette thingy, picking and have a look and see what I might need to order. I don't know, 20-30 skeins of floss and some needles, just to get me through in the meantime. So that's where I'm at with what the heck I'm doing. Stitching. That's probably quite a short video because that's all I have to talk about. Stitching, I picked up my Quaker Seasons of Friendship, which I'm stitching on 40 count fog linen from Country Stitch, 40 count Newcastle. And I love this fabric so much, and that's my stitch palette that I am using for inspiration. It's the only from Stitch Palettes, the Red Blossoms one. This is my fabric, so instead of using that DMC, it's my fabric, and down here I'm swapping that for what is it, soot. That's what I need to do. I need to order some more soot because I've only got one skein left and I've only done 1/4. So So I need to get, yeah, the Gentle Art soot. I better write that down. Then I need some more for that. So for people who aren't aware, Quicker Seasons of Friendship is by Crown of Thistle. You get this pattern, give Diane to Stitch a call or an email, and they can probably hook you up because it's their design brand. And where am I up to? I stitched and stitched and stitched on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, and I got well over a quarter. So I have got all of autumn done, and the quarter mark is here on this side. So the orange that way is edging into what would be summer. And I love it. I love it so much. Yeah. What can I say? I did lots of stitching. And it brings me joy. And I love my colour palette. And I love stitching on this fabric. And yeah, so yeah, really happy with that. I need to take a picture of that now that I've ironed it and upload it to some Instagram and stuff. I think it looks like quite a few people have started or have picked it up again, or started stitching it recently, so it's quite cool. So the very loose stitch alongs are ongoing. Then I felt like a bit of a break, so I took a break on Thursday. Can't remember what I did on Thursday. I think I can't remember why I didn't do any stitching. I just didn't feel like it. And then I had mentioned last week that I did have something ready to go, and I was dithering over the fact that I wanted to do it on white Aida, and I had ivory, or I don't even know, antique white, which is this fractal bookmark number 95 from Cross Stitch Collectibles. They do monthly free bookmarks, which are a piece of one of their larger mandala designs. So I picked this up. And I think that I've got this upside down. I'm stitching it this way, I think, which is fine. But it is supposed to be this way, I think. I think that's the right way. Is that the right way? Yeah, this is the... It doesn't matter. I'm stitching it upside down. It doesn't matter. So I picked this up and decided to start it. And I did. So I started this on Friday. This is just on 18 count Aida with the called for DMC. And I stitched it on Friday and did quite a bit yesterday. So it kind of has three flavours to it. One is you've got these great swaths of black which go super fast because you've got maybe it does go that way. Maybe I'm not stitching it upside down. So yeah, you've got these super great pieces of black. So they go really fast. And then you've got all the bubbles, I'm going to call them bubbles, which go pretty fast because you've kind of got lots of the same stitch, like same thread, and then most of them have got big chunks of one colour in the middle. And then you've got the bits of confetti that go in the middle, like all the little sparkly kind of whatever bits, which are, you know, like any confetti, a pain in the wazoo. But yeah, she's going pretty quick. So that's the top of page 1, or page 5, and then this slightly overlaps a couple of stitches into the next page, so page 6. So page 6 is only a partial page. So yeah, actually quite a good bit of progress on that. So that's another whip on the go. Excuse me. So that's my stitching. Yeah, so as I said, I'm going to have a look through free charts and decide what I'm going to do. Plan a little book or a little project. and do that, and then put through a wee order, which, I mean, incoming mail could take a while. We have been asked by the government not to purchase stuff overseas, to like give the local people a fair go, but I mean, I order some of the stuff from overseas anyway. I think we've only got international travel. I mean, you know, airlines down to 5% of what it normally is coming in, and all our mail obviously comes in on the plane. So not sure how long it would take to get here, but at least get an order in, because my 2 or 3 needles aren't going to last me for 2 months or however long. That's pretty much it. Watching a bit of YouTube. Still watching Mad About You. Haven't watched anything too dark or too intense. I don't think I can handle it right now. And that's all I have really. So yeah, quick one today. Hope everyone's keeping well. Get some fresh air and go for a bit of a walk if you can. Stay safe, stay home, stay in your bubble. Enjoy your stitching, and think of me without a massive stash, worried about running out of stuff to do. But anyway, it's all good. So until next week, keep stitching, and as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.